here's the thing. I knew I was destined for a death by methamphetamine addiction, but I wasn't ready to accept the spiritual help and talk about God. So there I was at the jumping off point. You guys offered a spiritual solution through the 12 steps, and I knew it worked because I saw it in you, but I wasn't willing to do it because I was really, really scared, because it had been so long since I talked about God, and I just didn't think that God had anything to offer me, and I certainly didn't think I could recover. God consciousness and meth death, they're both really unattractive choices. So if you've been there, then welcome. Welcome. We can help you. So these people showed up in my life. I got out of treatment that second time, and I got home and I got connected to people, and it was a little different. I realized some urgency was there, and I knew some places to go. So I went to some meetings, and I met some people who had a fire about them, and they had this thing coming from the inside out. You know what I'm talking about? They had that spirit and that life, and you want to be around them, but you're kind of afraid, and you're still kind of tweaked out. Like, God, they look like they really have something going on that I want. But I don't know how to get around them. And here's what they did. And here's what we do for you, you newcomers. We grab a hold of you. They grabbed a hold of me, and they pulled me in, and they set me down, and they said, you sit here, you be quiet. Like short sentences, right? You here, you shh. You can twack out all you want, but just be quiet. You get one trip to the coffee and one trip to the bathroom. That's it. And those people saved my life. I'm not judging you if you go 5 times to the bathroom, but if you're 5 years sober and you're getting up 5 times, come on, y'all. So here's the thing. Those people saved my life. There was a guy that used to break into houses that was a trucker, who was an armed robber, Doug the armed robber, and the recovered addict. There was a girl named Dawn who wore glitter on her tits, which I thought was fabulous, Does somebody here wear glitter on their tits? Somebody clapped. Yeah. And it's a man. That's it. Yeah. It's great. You're the one from South Boston, right? Yeah. So here's the deal. Dawn. And then there was this woman named Zuma who worked at the Chanel makeup counter. And then there was this other woman named Bethany who worked at a treatment center. And there were several other people, this guy named Jared, and lots of really intimidating people. And they got me in a room and they set me down and they said, so how do you think you're going to get out from under? What do you think you're going to do? And they qualified me. No one had ever taken the time to sit me down and talk to me about how I was suffering from a 3-fold illness. Nobody had ever sat down and talked to me about what it meant to be an addict and about how I was going to go back and use drugs against my will every single time. They helped me connect the dots. They showed me my history. They gave me my body of evidence that I could not deny sitting in that ugly little room with those people who I'd never seen before in my life. They rendered first aid to me. They saved my life. And I'm forever grateful for them. Later on, they told me that they did that because it was saving their own life, and I didn't understand that, but now I do. And I hope that you get a chance to see that someday too and experience that in your life. Here's what they did for me. They said, look, you have a fatal progressive illness. You are a meth addict. You're not just some garden variety alcoholic that had a flat on your 3 series. You're a meth addict, okay? Like, you do certain things that you cannot talk about in an AA meeting. You have gotten to the right place. So, you don't have a lot of time to waste. So, we got to get you through the steps really quickly. But first, let's sit down and let's talk about what it means to be an addict. And they went through the first step with me, and they showed me about how I was bodily different, how I was spiritually broken, and how I was mentally screwed, and that I was going to buy the lie that somehow I could control and enjoy it, or at least, eke out a little bit more pleasure from it over and over and over again. And I believed them. I saw the doom there. And they told me that there was a solution, but that it was going to make me bristle, that we were going to talk about God and we were going to have a spiritual experience. And all I know is that, guys, I was so broken. I was so utterly destitute at that point. Remember, I'd been to treatment centers. I'd been to jail. I'd gone to a lot of meetings. I'd sat in a lot of rooms. I'd read a lot of self-help books. I had locked myself in a lot of adult bookstores while the money ran out. I had been to a lot of bathhouses and renewed every 3 days and Febrezed my clothes to stay there. I had done everything I possibly could. So no more answers left. I had one shot. And I am so grateful for being that broken and being that completely destitute.